What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Nerd Archive podcast. As always, we got Justin, Yadi, Lola, and myself, Luis. I'm going to start just calling myself by the real name. Um, well, today we have a special episode, and you guessed it, we have nothing to talk about. We are just gonna fucking wing it. And right before we started the broadcast, we just said, you know what? We're just going to talk about Star Wars and Star Wars Day and everything else. Since last episode, even though Lola talked about MegaCon, we always, I don't know, we ended up just talking about Star Wars anyways.
It
And
always goes back to Star Wars.
yeah.
Well, May the 4th is coming up. So
Right, which is
Like me at MegaCon, Star Wars is my comfort zone. And I think it's
Closer.
yours too. I'm literally right here.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You
I
literally
was
had
right
to move.
here.
You
No,
literally had to
I was
move.
right here.
No, you were not. We saw you move.
just set it down a little bit.
Just set it down. You
There you
see
go,
where
there you
mine
go,
is.
right
You
there.
see where everyone else's is.
Right there. Good.
Okay, you see that? Do I have to do this the entire time?
Is it happy to see you, or what's going on? Like,
Is
I don't
that-
understand.
It might be at this point.
Well,
Because I'm not moving it. I'm not doing
you said
anything
who set
to
it up, so I understand.
Well,
Um,
he is happy to see me though.
Well, moving on. So with that being said, Star Wars Day, we got a lot of things to unfold, such as nothing. Let's start with the quote of the week.
It never fails, folks. It never fails. That's right, everybody. Time to test the host's nerdy knowledge with this week's nerdy quote of the week.
No, bourbon do
great.
that.
I'll leave that one for Yadi. He did a good one last week.
He really did.
Oh, yeah. All right. No need to explain the rules because everybody already knows them. So let's get right into it with the first quote. We're going to do two this week to make up for last week. So we're going to do the first one now and the second one later. Here we go. All mentors have a way of seeing more of our flaws than we would like. It's the only way we grow.
Mace Windu,
This is the
episode
way.
1.
All right. Lewis says Mace Windu, episode 1. Yadi.
One more time, please.
All mentors have a way of seeing more of our flaws than we would like. It's the only way we grow.
Oh man, I fucked up.
This is the way. I don't know. I think it's the armor from from Mandalorian.
Yo, that's a great answer. Whatever, Lola.
I was
I
gonna say,
have no clue.
I was about
I'm
to
just
say,
gonna
did this become Family Feud all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer,
Yes.
my lord. Good answer.
I have no clue, so I'm just gonna say Obi-Wan episode 2.
Obi-Wan. What?
Obi-Wan and what?
Episode 2.
Okay. Everybody got the name wrong. It was Padme.
I did say
So no
Padme.
points
You
for-
heard? I said Padme.
You said the armor. Shut
I
up.
said.
Just-
I said.
just look
I
it up.
said Queen Amidala, but it's fine.
No, you
same
didn't. And Lola was the only one that got the movie right. It was from episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
What? Lola,
I didn't
you
say it. I didn't say it
okay.
loudly. I just never mind. Just keep going.
okay? Fantastic.
So Lola gets 1 point. And yeah, that does it for the first nerdy quote of the week.
I think that we should play this game the way that that kids play sports nowadays. No keeping scores, because it just makes them feel bad about themselves, and right now I just don't feel great about myself.
This is the only thing I'm winning in life. Do not take it away from me.
Winning.
Of course. And that's the reason why he wants it thrown out.
Gone.
Of course. Of
I
course.
want to win.
Be better.
Be better. Okay. Game on. Game on. The only thing you are winning, you're about to lose it completely. You're
I
welcome.
gotta tell you something. I do not give a single shit.
Oh, then don't play.
But it's getting you fired up. So yeah. Be better. Be
Then
better, brother.
I'll
Be the
fucking
smart
She-
boy mom knows you are.
Yeah, mom doesn't.
She
think that.
has no fucks
She
to
just loves me
give.
more.
Her fucks hath runneth dry.
Your fucking reino is done, buddy.
No.
Ooh.
I'm the golden
Kingdom.
child now.
Kingdom.
No, I
The
wanted
word
you
you
to
were
get
looking
the
for was kingdom.
spiciness. But you were only gonna get it in Spanish.
No one cares. The point is the point.
Can't even.
The point is, I am losing and I don't like it. So we're gonna throw this game out. This is the last. Maybe this is why I always try to skip it every week.
Get
But
you today.
I'm not doing this today.
Yeah, no, it's
Not losing
this.
today.
And then I see Justin looking at me like, "Come on, motherfucker!" Like,
You should know this.
hello, I'm waiting. Whatever. The point is, Star Wars Day, which is weird that they don't do it on like the week before or the week of or the week after May the 4th. I don't know what that's about.
I'm not sure either. I mean, they did this one in London. They got another one coming up soon in Tokyo, or well, in Japan. They didn't say specifically where, so I was just kind of guessing at that point. But yeah, it's kind of weird that they don't do it closer to the actual Star Wars Day.
So
Right.
it's Star Wars Days.
Star Wars months.
Well, Star Wars Celebration is what they call it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean,
I'm okay with that.
yeah, I mean, just do it closer to or within the actual week, and just call it Star Wars Week.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
save your best and biggest announcements for May the 4th.
It's like at Disney, they used to do the ESPN weekends, and it was on the anniversary of ESPN. Like if it didn't fall on the weekend, it was still that week. Just fun fact. Another fun fact that lives in my head rent free for no reason.
There you go.
So, Star Wars Celebration. We got 3 movies that we're going to get. A prequel, a Mandalorian movie, which it's set to be the finale for the series, and a postquel. I don't know what it's called.
That
The-
continuation.
A continuation of
Oh,
episode 9.
that. I got you. The post sequel trilogy, which and this is the thing. Like I'm cautious because everything that has come out thus far, and
I understand what you're gonna say. We were very disappointed with the sequels, the postquels. We were very disappointed. However, that was the first Star Wars thing that Disney did. But now they know what we want. With The Mandalorian and Andor and Boba Fett, they even though the beginning of Boba Fett was kind of slow,
Boba Fett was a misstep, and they had to bring Din in to bring it back, which honestly
Okay.
should never have had to happen. But I'm kind of glad that they did.
Right.
They did something really good with The Mandalorian, which no one thought was going to gain traction, but everybody fucking loved. And honestly, it took, and this is the thing. On the whole, I'm less than enthused about season 3. It took episode 6 for me to go back and look and realize, why the hell are they stepping away? And this is their plan, actually. It's like they're stepping away from making it about Din, which is basically what the focus had been on for the entirety of the series, and they're basically kind of pushing him aside, which honestly I don't think is the right direction. I don't think it's the right move to make. So they're going to need to, I think, play this very, very carefully going forward, because they can turn this around, I think, because they still have season 4,
Right.
and they still have the Mandoverse movie, which is basically a crossover, because it's supposed to be like a culmination of what's coming after the Ahsoka series, what's coming after Mando season 4, and I think there's there's something else supposed to be packaged along with that. I forget what it is though. Yeah,
Boba Fett.
and that too possibly. Yeah, I think the what was it, the high, are they doing the High Republic? I forget what that other announcement was, that other movie.
Well, it's before the High Republic. It's literally the way that they explained it was a biblical story that takes place with the Jedi Order.
Oh, the First Jedi.
Right.
The First Jedi. Now I remember. Okay, so it makes sense. So I'm wondering if they're going to base that on, because there's a group that predates the Jedi, and I saw this on a YouTube, I think it was a YouTube short, or it was a long form YouTube video of a group called the Jedi, which predates the Jedi Order. And so
Right.
I'm wondering if they're going to be following that.
Yes. I think, don't quote me on this. Quote me on this. I don't care. I think that's what the movie would be based on. But you know how Disney is. They like to butcher original stories. And make it original stories, which makes no sense. But I think that the whole premise of the movie would be pretty cool, because we've always seen, granted, all we've seen on the movies has been the Skywalker saga. We see in the prequels, we see how Anakin is brought into the Jedi Order, how he evolves and how he destroys it, and then how he rules the galaxy, and then the aftermath. And I think that even though we love the Skywalker saga because it brought amazing characters into our lives, I think that we are ready to move on. And I think that's why we love Mandalorian and we love Andor and Boba Fett. I like the series. It wasn't great, but I still like the series. But I think it's because it is not it it's based on, but it has nothing to do with Darth Vader, and it doesn't have to do with anything with Darth Sidious, and they don't, other than the cameos here and there with Luke Skywalker, they don't really talk about it other than the Empire itself.
Exactly. I mean, they're focusing more on the, the greater, like the greater galaxy at large, and they're focusing on these other characters. And, and that's the thing though. You talk about Andor, and I'm assuming you've started watching it.
I have. I have started watching it. I just didn't get past episode 3.
I gotcha. And that's
where
that's
I'm
the
at
thing though.
too.
It's well, they're working on season 2 as we speak.
Right.
And I'm glad they're doing it. I think they had planned on like 3 or 4 seasons, but I think a lot of people thought that would have stretched it out a bit too much, so they shortened it to 2 seasons, because there's really only so much that you have to work with between where they started and where you pick up with Rogue One, because it's literally where that falls, which is honestly really cool. And like, in my opinion, they lightning struck twice, in my opinion, since the Disney takeover with Andor. And it's some of the best stuff that we've seen, or at least that I've seen, come out of Star Wars in a good while since they've taken over. I'm hoping they keep going in the direction that they're going with that series. and I want them to go in a good direction with these next movies that they have coming out. And I'm going to say it, and people are going to groan. Keep Kathleen Kennedy as far away from this shit as you can, because everything she touches, she fucking destroys. That being said, there is some things going around that she may actually step down and retire towards the end of this year. Now her contract has her as the head of Lucasfilm until next year, but it's possible she could step down before that. I'm hoping that's the case, because they need to leave it in charge of people that know what they're doing and are actual fans of the work and can actually tell good stories. And therein lies the point, because a lot of people are going to say, oh, he hates the sequels for no reason. No, I don't hate the sequels for no reason. Uninteresting characters that are badly written that you could have done better with, that's what I have a problem with.
I'm with you. I think that she should be completely away from anything that Star Wars is. Um, Going back really quick to Rogue One, Lola sent a TikTok today. Or not a TikTok. It was a post of Darth Vader being a drama king. Okay, I explain.
We love our little drama queen, though.
So in Rogue One, last scene where we see Darth Vader show up from the darkness. He
Yep.
shows up. The reason he's a drama king is because he wanted to make an entrance. His apparatus at his chest has lights. However, they were turned off. They were turned off so he can show up by just igniting his lightsaber. And just to make things better, not only he's a drama king, he also wanted to showcase his power by toying with the rebel soldiers, because doing all that was the reason why Leia got away. Because if he would have just entered and pulled with his force the one person that had the plans, which he knows who it is because it's the only one running.
It would have been over in seconds.
Right. We wouldn't have A New Hope. Nothing. Which I understand. Obviously, there's a reason why. It's whatever. But,
dramatic effect.
Yeah, but here's the thing. To turn off the lights, he had to turn off the apparatus. Which means to be a drama king, he was willing to die for it. Because he couldn't breathe.
And yet, in that scene, it still had him breathing. So there's a contradiction there.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
So the people who filmed that, the people who filmed that scene kind of made a mistake and just kind of painted themselves into a corner a little bit.
Right. They fucked up.
His apparatus has RGB, so he just turns it off.
So it performs better.
He has
the fan's still going on, but then the RGB lights are off.
So you turn the lights off and just kind of decrease the performance a little bit just to create that dramatic effect.
Yeah, but I wonder what kind of battery it had. It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. On that note, real quick side story, talking about computers real quick. I noticed that one of my RAMs on my computer was off. And I noticed that because I was editing last episode and it was running really, really slow. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I didn't notice the computer yet. And I got up and I started doing other things because I was getting frustrated. I sat back down and I'm just looking around, just thinking about my life choices, and then I happen to stare at my computer and I'm like, my first RAM is off. Like the RGB was off.
I was about to say, did the stick go bad?
It's on right now.
Huh.
So I don't know what happened.
It
I
has the
just make
same
Dramatic
power
effect.
as the apparatus Darth
yeah,
Vader.
Vader. Yeah,
It's just
Your
it
RAM
wasn't
was
breathing
being
right. My
dramatic.
computer wasn't breathing right because of the apparatus.
I
Your
do
RAM.
wonder how that conversation went though. Like prior to getting on the ship, just like watch this
Yeah, you
when it
imagine?
turns everything off.
Yeah, I bet.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this.
That's funny. I can only imagine one of the what's it called? One of the stormtroopers looks at Vader and is like, "I bet you won't turn off your shit before you kill him. I bet you won't kill him before you have to breathe again."
Yeah.
Hold my beer and watch
Hold
this
my
shit.
beer. Hold my beard. We went completely left field on this.
A little bit.
So
It's what we
going
do.
going back to Star Wars Celebration. The last project will be a sequel to the sequels, which takes place 15 years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Which includes Rey trying to rebuild the Jedi Order as another Skywalker. Why not?
I will never call her by that name. I'm sorry. It's just never going to happen.
I'm just gonna call her Rey. Really,
There you go.
But
She's
to the
just Rey.
effect of the movie,
Skywalker is gonna build everything.
right? Skywalker starts the franchise.
Skywalker is gonna finish.
destroys the Jedi, becomes Sith, destroys the Sith, and then becomes a Jedi again and tries to build a Jedi. What's it gonna happen? We're gonna see Grogu, because he's probably still alive. And as we've seen, he ages very slowly.
Yep.
Emphasis on the slowly.
When 900 years old you reach, look this good, you will not.
I like it. I like it a lot. Talking about memes, I did see one. It was Anakin talking to Yoda, and it's like, "Why can't I be a Jedi Master? I'm 19 already." And Yoda says, 19? It took me 50 years to become a Jedi. Because Grogu is 50 in the events of Mandalorian. So I thought that was funny. I lost track of what I was saying. Whatever. The point is, I do this a lot. The point is, I want to see what's going to happen next.
It's definitely got me curious.
Yeah, because now I'm wondering who the villain is going to be. Because
Right, that's where you're going with Grogu.
well, I was thinking more of he's going to help build the Jedi Order. Because when we get into the next segment, we're going to talk about the last episode of The Mandalorian. But the events of what we're seeing in The Mandalorian right now, I have a theory, which is probably everyone's theory and what everyone's going to hate that's going to happen with Din Djarin. So I think that Grogu being a Mandalorian, he's going to be like the first Mandalorian was, half Mandalorian, half Jedi. So I think that's what's going to... I think Luke Skywalker is going to find him again. Eventually. Probably not in the show, but that's my theory for this movie. But who the villain is going to be, I have no idea, because please do not bring Darth Sidious back. Please.
No. God, no. I mean, Ian McDermott, awesome actor, perfect guy to play him, but I mean, seriously.
By the time this movie comes out, he's going to really look, he's not going to need prosthetics.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it just, like, seriously, close that chapter. Leave it leave it alone.
Let's just bring another Darth to the movie, please. Obviously, we're gonna need someone from the dark side because that's the whole point. The whole story of Star Wars is bringing balance to the Force, and regardless of what timeline you're in, there's always someone that the Jedi are always fighting the dark side. If you're going to rebuild the Jedi Order, please bring someone that is rebuilding the dark side, not as to control the entire galaxy, to rebuild another empire. No, we want to see the primal of the two orders. That's what I think I think that's what I want to see.
Do we think that we might get a clue? Excuse me. Do we think that we might get a clue in the Ahsoka show?
It's certainly
think so.
possible.
I think so. So, but also, the Ahsoka show takes place during the Mandalorian, and the events of the sequels haven't happened yet.
Oh yeah, right. So that ties into the whole Mandoverse thing,
Right.
which is gonna culminate in that Mandoverse movie. Do they even have a title for that movie yet?
No.
That's kind of what I figured. Oh,
They-
and going back to correct you just real quick, the first Mandalorian wasn't Jedi. The first Mandalorian predates what was it, Tar Vizsla.
Yes, my mistake. I was talking about the first Jedi to wield the Darksaber.
Hmm.
So, if you guys don't have anything else in this bullshit that we're talking about, we're gonna go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the last episode of The Mandalorian and what we like, what we didn't like, and where it's going, what we think it's going. So we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. We'll be back. All right, welcome back. Before the break, we just talked about Star Wars Celebration and the movies that are coming out, everything they gave us. Not we didn't talk about everything they gave us. We just talked about the movies. It is what it is.
Just a few
Um,
tidbits and our
yep.
concerns and things like that.
Yep. And then now we are going to tell you what we thought of the last episode of The Mandalorian. It was great. All right. Thank you. You have a good night. And we'll see you next week. Just kidding. All right. So we get to see both parts or both sides of the Mandalorians come together. Come together.
Yeah.
And then they want to go back to Mandalore. So they put up a team. And when Bo-Katan is asking for people to say, "Hey, do you want to come and come with me?"
Die.
Pretty much.
Potentially.
There's a moment of silence. Like no one gets up. And then obviously Din Djarin gets up.
Of course.
And then the pride hits. And then
yeah.
everybody's like,
This is the way.
Yep. And you know, it's funny. I saw that scene of everyone getting up and they showed one of each side getting up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this scene like each person that got up had a problem with the other one.
Yeah,
Right.
had beef with the other
Yeah.
for sure.
You're one gets up and then the other side looks at him and is like, no.
I'm better
He's
than
going,
you.
I'm going.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not about to let this motherfucker upstage me.
Yeah. I can already see it. I ain't no pussy. I'm going.
Yeah.
So we get about 15 of them get up, and then we see them in the ship. The whole fleet shows up, but only Bo-Katan and the other 14 or 15 that went with her in her ship. And when she said they're entering the atmosphere, and she said, "All right, remember, our comms are not gonna work down there." I immediately knew something was gonna go wrong
Of course.
because we already heard it in previous episodes. The only reason they're gonna bring it up is because it has something to do with what's gonna happen. So they get down there. They drop like a fucking military, like the Marines straight up dumped. And they get down there. It's fine. It's safe. They all drop. Then she lands, and then they start walking, and then all of a sudden, more pirates. Whoever wrote this season has a love for pirates.
Oh yeah. Or what
Because-
we thought were pirates.
Right. But we
We
get
had
a
the
pirate ship.
appearance. Yeah.
We practically get a pirate ship.
Pretty much.
And so now the pirate ship stops, and the Mandalorians, they pop off. They're like, "Oh shit, we're about to fight somebody."
Mm.
And the captain of the ship starts talking, and then, "Is that the voice of Bo-Katan I hear?" I'm like, "Damn, he's good." And even though that she's speaking very, very softly, but apparently they can
The
hear.
voice carries.
Yeah,
I
I guess so. I guess so. She used the Force on her voice. So we see these three or more. Well, they only show three in the beginning of these pirates, but they're actually survivors of the Purge.
Yep.
They are Mandalorians, and which I'm still a little skeptical about these people. Granted, one of the people that said, "I'm going with you," was the armorer.
Yeah, I think she's a shady bitch.
Yeah.
I'm
I thought
calling
there
it.
was something sus on her.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
calling
She
it.
split out of there and then shit went wrong immediately after.
Well,
Yeah, but so did Axe Woves.
Right.
And he had nowhere to go. She had the ship to get the injured back to the fleet.
No, I understand the injured. Because it wasn't their fleet that got injured. It was the people that were already injured from these people that they found.
Mhm.
Which my theory is adding to the fact that she's a shady bitch is that they're all in it. And they needed a way to get to the ship.
Okay.
So
She's the
The-
one that built all those armors. Watch it.
right. And then you telling me that the one person that builds their armors doesn't want to see where they were built in the first place? That to me that's weird. I'm sorry, but for instance, we're all podcasters. And as someone we're driving somewhere to go see where podcasting started. Are we going to stay behind?
There is
Or-
if there's an ambush and I already know about it.
Right. But also, the similarities, which are also there probably to throw us off, is the fact that the two people with horns on their helmets are her and Moff Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, which is a little far fetched, I saw this online that the only one that wears red is her, which could link to the fact that she was part of the Mandalorians that followed Darth Maul.
Oh, it's possible.
And the horns were made that way on their helmets because of Darth Maul. Which
The Moldorians.
It's
Yeah,
certainly
Mandalorian.
possible, but I think that's a bit more far fetched. And honestly, and then the shit with Gideon's armor. I mean, he's more. I think he seems more the type for theatricality than anything else. So he wanted to make himself look more intimidating. So I don't really think he knew that much about it. And as far as who's gonna be the betrayer and things like that, I'm leaning more towards Axe Woves and or Koska Reeves.
no,
'Cause
I'm with
They've
you.
been fairly, especially Axe, like he's been pretty bitter, especially with Bo-Katan not having the dark saber and then him losing his command and that.
Right.
And not only that, it's like, okay, who broke out Moff Gideon? Literally who had that opportunity?
And it was Mandalorian armor.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Shards of Beskar embedded in the walls of the ship. And so that is pushing it towards, in my opinion, those two, or at least Axe.
Well, also because on that note, when he was captured, Moff Gideon, he was still not in Mandalore. Because
That's what I was thinking. Like he might have been already building that, but we don't know.
the only reason I say that is because he points out that the suits for the droids that he was building, they weren't Beskar. He made it a point to make them that way after he found after they came to Mandalore.
Right.
Although, how long has he been like free? Because if we were to do timeline, we discovered that, or we theorizing that, this season or the end of last season took place like 2 years in between when Grogu leaves with Luke Skywalker and he comes back. And then he gets obviously taken at the end of the season. So how long has Moff Gideon been out? So that
It stands to reason. Like he could have been out for a while, or he could have just gotten out. But regardless of anything, like I think he's the guy that like he has hands in everything, and he plans and plans and plans. Like he's always trying to be at least 50 moves ahead.
Right.
And therein lies the quote that he said. I believe it was. I'm pretty sure it was in season 2. It's like, always assume that I know everything, or something to that effect. So he always tries to be the person that knows more than just about everyone else around him, and especially more than his enemies, because he wants to be ahead of the game at every possible aspect. And that's a big part of why he sent what's her name to Coruscant to intercept Dr. Pershing.
Right.
And then she's still sending him information.
Hold that thought. My bad. Okay. So, yes. So I'm assuming that if, let's say, they were building all this while he was captured,
That's kind of my assumption.
and he hasn't been out for that long.
Oh, he never made it to whatever they were taking him. So
Trial.
Right.
he's been
Well-
out for a while.
Well, they were talking about he never made it to the trial. He could have been captured in jail, and then when they were moving him to do the trial, that's when he broke out. So I think that he was captured for a while, and then was when they were moving him, they broke him out, and this was already built, and then he just took over.
Possible that he just built a failsafe, in essence. Like,
Right.
hey, if I get caught, this is what you're going to start doing.
Right. Which
Right.
makes sense. Makes total sense.
Mhm.
So going back to the whole theory, who we think the spies, because that's the name of the episode, they didn't say spy. They said spies.
Oh, true.
Why not?
Well,
Which is fine. It's fine. But who else has been working with the good guys? Who have they shown that has been working with the good guys until now?
see, my theory with the armor is that she wanted to get all of the Mandalorians in one place because they're easier to kill, and that's kind of the whole point of that Moff Gideon is trying to get to, is just death to all and then finish his whole plan. But they what's called the lady that's in Coruscant, she's also a spy because she's working for both sides.
Right,
So
right.
there's one identified for sure.
Right. No, I that's that's what I'm saying. They probably wanted to throw us off with the name of the episode, Spies, but then they show us one and they were like, "Oh, cool. There's the spy. We already found them."
It's safe to say there's more than one.
Right. So,
Another
ahead.
reason why I think it's the armor, it's because, after she leaves Mandalore to get the injured to the ship, like, they just keep showing her. It's not necessary. She already went to do, but hey, let's keep getting the shot of her leaving. What's
Right.
that about?
Yeah.
Also-
That's what I
What's
thought
the
was happening
emphasis?
too.
Yeah.
right.
What's the emphasis there? That she's not going to be there when, like, shit hits the fan? Okay.
Right. So, let's focus on that. Let's say that the fleet is up there and they're going to get attacked. Cuz we know that Moff Gideon doesn't just have the people down there.
Yeah, for sure.
We know. If she is the spy, is she going to put herself in harm's way?
That's just gonna take the whole fleet.
It could very well be. It could very well be that the Mandalorian pirates as it were, they could very well be the spies.
Right.
So it's like, okay, they could be using the armorer to get up to the ship, take it over, kill everybody, and then the fleet is fucked, and then they're left on the planet by themselves against overwhelming odds.
That
Yeah.
So that's
and-
another way.
Right, and this is the way. So, one more theory. Did they explain how the Mandalorians got a hold of the ship?
No.
Well, remember
I think
they
they
took.
did.
Well, that's the thing though. They were on it at the end of the second season when Luke left with Grogu. So you can pretty much assume that they kept it, repurposed it, and then when they abandoned Bo-Katan, they just took that ship with them.
Because my theory was someone handed to them. Someone handed them the ship.
They
Well,
literally
Bo-Katan
said
says-
that light cruiser is Moff Gideon's old ship.
Right.
Yeah, and she said she's been working on it for a while too.
Right. So that I couldn't remember if Bo-Katan is someone that said that or it was Axe. So there goes the theory that I had, but I also knew that could have been a possibility that Bo-Katan is someone that said what was said. So I'm still with the armorer because she's been a shady ass bitch. Another theory is she was part of the Mandalorian with Darth Maul. Then she starts a creed of Mandalorians that cannot take their helmets off. So that way no one knows who she is. Because she knows that some people out there might recognize her from working with Darth Maul. So
And then all of a sudden she has a change of heart and allows Bo-Katan to actually take the helmet back off and wants other people to join because,
right. All of a sudden, she
right?
makes Din Djarin, which he's not by blood Mandalorian, but he has walked both paths. He even though he took his helmet off, he was doing more with his persona as to help other people than the actual Mandalorians were. So, but he's not allowed. But Bo-Katan is, even though she bathed in the waters. But now you're telling her she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
When last season you hated her guts. So that's where I think my theory comes in of her wanting to make sure that she is going to make everyone else keep their helmet off so she doesn't have to take it off and be recognized. That's where I'm going with that. That's it for me.
To be honest, though, I don't think that holds as much weight at this stage than the possibility of Axe and Koska being the ones that are going to betray everybody. Between them and the injured Mandalorians, it could go in any direction, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to play this out.
Right. All right, so that's our theories. We all feel the same about one thing that pisses off. Justin, I know. Go for it.
They fucking killed Paz Vizsla.
Yes.
He stood there fucking tanking the shit out of that entire platoon of fucking troopers, and he was just destroying everything. And I'm like, dude, this guy is fucking epic. And of course, his fucking gun has to overheat.
which makes sense.
Yes. But come on, man. He's one of the better characters in the series.
Used to be.
Yeah. Used to be,
My
unfortunately.
hopes was that he was like just knocked out, all of the shocks and whatnot. Because nothing is going through him. But
Right. But then they had to.
yeah,
We see the guards at the end
hmm
Oh,
that
yeah.
we first saw in episode 3 when Yoda enters the room where Darth Sidious is. Although that brings a good point.
They were also in Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
And I believe they were also in not Rise of Skywalker. Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. That's where I was gonna bring this up. You have Rey and Kylo going at it with these guards
for an hour.
for an hour, and then we have Yoda walks into the room and knocks them out. Like, here, get out of my sight.
Hmm.
That's where the power the power gap is.
Yeah.
So which makes sense why, because they never explain how come they weren't able to kill them so easily in The Last Jedi. It's because their armors are also Beskar. And the Beskar can withstand the lightsabers. Other than their face plates, which obviously is the only true Star Wars thing that we've seen with Disney, with the lightsaber igniting and going through his head, even though they didn't show us. But that was the worst thing that Disney has shown us so far. So that explains a lot. But that's it. But seeing Vizsla getting demolished by however, I was upset, but the way that he went out, it could have not been any better.
Oh, he went down. I mean, he went down swinging. He absolutely went down swinging. Like, he was beating up on those guards, but they definitely had. I think they definitely had his number in terms of skill.
Mm-hmm.
It still
He
sucks.
was just more brute and more raw power than skilled. That's where his gap ends. So we get to see Din Djarin getting captured.
Yep.
But before that, let's backtrack real quick before we get into this. The best interaction was when Grogu gets his little he it's like watching a video game or playing a video game, and you start with the bassinet, it's level 1, and then you hit level 25, and all of a sudden you have a new what you call it, vehicle. So he has the IG-12, not the IG-11, and Din Djarin's like, "What are you doing? Like, get off of that!" And Grogu hits a button. No. And then, no. I'm like, Jesus, stop. And I know I skipped a lot, but bringing this back, when we're in Mandalore, and we see Vizsla and Axe going at it.
Yep.
And Din looks at Bo-Katan, and he's like, "Do you want me to stop this?" And he's like, "No one can. If you notice, both sides are staying out of it." And they're going at it, fighting. And Vizsla had the best of Axe, like, for sure. and all of a sudden they're about to kill each other. And who steps in? Grogu. And
Yep.
he hits that button. No.
No.
And Bo-Katan looks at Din Djarin and he's like, you taught him well. And Din Djarin's like, he's not doing this because of me.
It's like, I didn't teach him that.
Yeah. So that was fun to watch. That was
Oh, yeah.
really fun to watch. There was something else that, so when we're still in the ship, we see them, something starts moving out of the ground and their ship gets destroyed. We know that a couple of Mandalorian died in that because they did not make it out in time. And then they get under a rock and then they start going down into his cave, and then they see all these stormtrooper looking Mandalorian motherfuckers show up. And they're shooting at them and nothing is happening. And someone says, "Oh no, their armor is made out of Beskar." I'm like, "Oh, that's so awesome."
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that when you first saw that?
I was like, what the?
I was actually surprised. I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be an interesting one. This is a bit of a challenge for them, I think. But they still managed to get the better of them, though.
You gotta hit him in the eye.
I loved it, but also, what was the stormtroopers' battle armor made out of? Fucking plastic?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did they just send them into battle with plastic armor? That's absolute bullshit.
Yeah. They were clones. It didn't matter. We have more.
Yep, you have an endless supply of them. They still have to grow at a faster rate, granted, but they still have to grow.
The Empire wasn't the smartest.
Yeah.
Not at all.
The
I
whole
love them.
clone started with someone else doing this. They stole it.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
not
did they
their
steal
doing.
it if it was them still?
Well, it wasn't them that started it. They just took it from what's his name? The Jedi Master. I can't think of his name.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name either, but wasn't he working for the dark side anyways?
No, the Jedi Master you're referring to was Sifo Dyas,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
he wasn't one of the ones that was doing the clone. It was the Kaminoans. They started it, and then the Empire took it, and
Yeah, but
yeah.
Sifo Dyas was the one that brought them the original body to clone. And then that's where it all happened.
No, actually, no. Jango Fett was recruited by Dooku.
Fuck Dooku.
Misunderstood
I actually
soul.
like Dooku. I saw a scene today of episode 2 when he's talking to Obi-Wan when he has him trapped. And he's trying he looks at him and is like, if Qui-Gon was alive, he would join me. And then Obi-Wan's like, no, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. And Dooku's like, oh yeah, you forget that he was my Padawan.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean,
It did.
I don't think. Well, in that context, yes. But that's the thing, though. If Qui-Gon hadn't died, and all the things were, had progressed as we thought they probably would have, had that not happened, he probably would have left the Order with Anakin and Obi-Wan in tow. But I highly doubt that any of that other shit would have turned out the way it did, because I think honestly Dooku would have probably gone and left right behind him.
Right. I was muted.
Oh shit.
That's fine. All I said was right. No, I agree with you. It's just the context of that whole conversation. I
Hmm.
think that what Dooku was trying to do was trying to show everyone that the Jedi Order wasn't what they were selling.
Right, and to a point, and to a point that's true. But he was also using it as a manipulation tactic against Obi-Wan,
Right.
which obviously, you know, as we saw, Obi-Wan wasn't buying it.
No, he's hard headed and smart. So, and when you combine both, it's like,
All right, Peter Griffin.
So moving forward now, they get separated, the Mandalorians, by this door, and
Hmm.
Din Djarin, he's holding his own, but they overwhelm him and they take everything, they capture him and they take all his weapons away from him and all that, and they take him. Poor Grogu's face. He is about to go off. And I think his first words are gonna be, "Listen, motherfucker." Oh, that too. He is gonna destroy Moff Gideon. I think.
I think
okay.
so.
I don't think. I just hope.
I
'Cause we
think there's
don't-
definitely gonna be a moment where Grogu's like, "I see you, motherfucker. Watch this."
Oh, he took his helmet off and he knew who he was. It's like, oh, I've seen you before,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna see you again.
Yeah.
So
He'd be like,
You done fucked up, motherfucker.
I think
Also,
I think it's
Go for
gonna.
it.
I think there's gonna be a crisis of conscience moment there for Grogu, but I don't think Grogu's gonna be the one to kill him. It's gonna. I feel like it's gonna either wind up being Din Djarin or Bo-Katan that kills Gideon once and for all.
yeah, I think
that's
that.
why I said on the Discord, like, maybe not murder him, but definitely maim.
Oh, he's gonna make him his bitch.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and
materially, but yeah.
this is what I think is gonna happen. Grogu's gonna go off. He's gonna have Moff Gideon in a corner. Something's gonna happen that tables are gonna be turned, and Moff Gideon has the dark saber pointing at Grogu, and he's about to kill him. And one of the others is gonna kill Moff Gideon.
but for him to have the dark saber, he has to kill Bo-Katan or take it from her,
Right.
and then Grogu's gonna take it from Moff Gideon.
While we're on this subject, they're getting attacked, shit's going down. What the fuck is she doing with the dark saber? It's a really nice like
Opening a hole which she could have made it bigger. I don't know. I don't know about
well,
you.
yeah, but prior
It
to
also
that,
took her fucking forever to actually, hey, you know, this might be a good idea, and run to the other side and open that fucking hole. And then, of course, it's small, so you can only get one person in at a time.
yeah.
See, like
But prior
since
to
she's
that,
not
what
a
is she using
Jedi,
it
she's not deflecting things, you know.
But she
Right.
knows
Doesn't
how to
know.
use it though, because she's
But
defeated.
she doesn't have
enemies
the
with it
Force.
before. Fair, but still, like you have your close combat. You have to like maybe chop off some heads here and there. Just fucking.
I think if she starts doing the thing and starts deflecting the guns or whatever, she's gonna start cutting herself like
It's like the duel of a 100 cuts or 1,000 cuts. So when I was watching this scene and she's cutting through, obviously it hits you episode 1,
Mhm.
Qui-Gon, whatever. But when I saw how small that hole was, I'm like, are you serious, bitch? Like,
Yeah.
it could have probably taken you a couple seconds longer if you made it bigger. Like,
Jesus.
come on.
Do you think that she started making it and she's like, oh shit, I know this is too small, but I can't stop now?
Under the circumstances, because they got boxed in, so I think under the circumstances, she had to make as big as she thought she could within that point, because once those doors opened, those troopers were coming after them after they took Din. And so she had to create an escape fast.
Right.
She's like, well, I fit through here, so let's go.
Yeah, I'm Gucci. The kid can also, if he gets out of the fucking robot, he can make it too. I don't know about everybody else.
Somehow the hole looked bigger once they were coming out.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If she would have cut a hole into the door where it was separating them, they would have had more people. And she's holding the dark saber.
And she like by the time that they were getting through the hole one by one, they were
Right.
shit 'em.
One by one.
Oh, shit.
I mean, if she would have been the first one, she could attack them. I don't know. The point is, I don't know. Disney made this show. That's it. That's all I can say. What do you guys think is going to happen to Din Djarin? Is he going to get his mind erased, or
Perhaps I'm leaning towards that because they showed that machine and then they kept talking about that machine and like it's repurposed, but hey, guess what? It can still work like it did before.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'd be
Wink,
fools to
wink.
believe it's the only that the only one they have is on Coruscant, because there's probably some on like mid rim and outer
ships.
rim worlds and things like that, or on other ships. But I've got a feeling that he's gonna wind up getting freed at some point within that episode. I don't think he's gonna get his mind wiped though.
He's gonna get turned into the dark side.
I don't think so.
Not likely.
But
not
definitely
likely.
there's gonna be some pretty lights that he's gonna be looking at some point or another.
closer?
There's definitely going to be some pretty lights that he's going to be looking at some point or another.
You get frustrated when we tell you to get closer, but we can't hear you. Like,
No, I understand. I don't want to be eating my mic. That's all.
You don't have to.
I just feel like it doesn't look very well on camera.
heard. Okay, great theories.
Yeah,
Even though we
pretty
didn't have
lights.
anything to talk about, we have talked about more than this episode than any other episode.
I
Because
told
we
you.
had
Except for the
stuff to
video
talk
game
about. You
episode.
just want to talk about something else.
Right. Okay. So, Yadi, do you have a trivia?
No.
No? Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Since we don't have a trivia, we are going to do a second quote of the week. So, quote of midweek. Take it away.
Nerdy quote of the week. Round 2.
Fight. Finish him.
All right. So for our second quote of our double header this week, here we go. Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, director.
Director. Is this Star Wars?
Is this
Yeah.
window? Sounds like window.
I was gonna say it sounds like somebody from the Sith, though.
No, it sounds like a badass.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, director.
That is
Uh,
Windu.
I think it's Palpatine.
That is Windu in episode 3.
All right, that's Lewis.
Yeah,
He seems
that's how.
disappointed.
I say
Yadi?
window, but let's say episode 2.
Okay,
I
Lola.
say Palpatine, episode 3.
No points. That was Darth Vader from
What?
Rogue. That was Darth Vader from Rogue One.
Oh man, Rogue One.
Yep.
Well, just cut this part off.
It was his. It was his. It was his
Oh,
conversation with the director
yeah.
after the initial demonstration of a piece of the Death Star's power, and the director, I forget what his name is and who played him, was just was asking, it's like, this is still my project, am I still going to be in charge? And all of a sudden you just see him, he starts choking, and Vader turns around, and this is as Vader was walking away, and he says straight to the man, it's like, careful not to choke on your aspirations, director, as he's choking this fucker with the
Right.
Force.
Is
And
this
then
why
lets
you
it
brought
go.
out Rogue One?
Huh?
Is this why? Is this why you
No,
brought it up earlier?
Well, not necessarily. No, that's just that was just an aside. When we were talking about Andor, and then that just came up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It did, didn't it?
It did, didn't it? So that's a nod to I find your lack of was it?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yes. In shit, I'm just drawing a blank. New Hope.
There you go.
Thanks.
I was about to say you disappoint me.
Yeah, I disappoint myself. All right. With that being said, make sure you go on our website, thenerdarchive.com, and make sure you look at our little profile of each one of us and get to know us a little bit. And don't forget to go on our social media. Everything is
Click all the things
down below.
Yep.
Do you have anything going on this week? Are you guys playing any games this week on stream?
Shockingly enough, I haven't been recently, but I need to get back on and finish Hogwarts Legacy.
What?
I've been playing. Well, that's the thing. I have been playing the game. Well, no, that's the thing. I've been playing the game off and on, and I've just been doing a lot of the side stuff. And I'm, like I said, I'm saving the main story stuff and maybe a little bit of the side stuff for when I actually stream. But I haven't finished it yet.
That's a 2-year-old game already.
Well, fuck, Lewis, have you even started the game yet?
Why are you bringing me into this conversation?
This guy, Jesus Christ.
Why are you bringing me into this conversation? I'm still
Because
trying
you
to
were part of
finish
this as
Pokemon.
well. You were actually kind of enthused about the game as well, so I figured you were going to play it at some point.
Are you streaming Pokemon this week?
Yes, I am streaming Pokemon this week.
What day?
I don't know.
Someday this week.
Yeah, tomorrow maybe. Tomorrow night.
Check out his Twitter, right? That's where you put it?
No,
Explore everything.
On everything. I'll be streaming on YouTube as Tier Factory TV. Justin is Oliver_TV. Yadi as Yatta Reaper. Lola, you can find her on Instagram as Lady Lara 25. I'm reading it. That's the only reason why I remember it.
Also, one thing. Guess this audio clip. You ready? Should we play it again?
Yes, please.
It's me.
Oh my god.
I had to.
That's me fucking up English and then being like,
You have to send me that so I can put it in the beginning of the episode. All right. All right. With that being said, thank you guys for joining us tonight. You guys are fantastic. Always remember to be yourself and stay nerdy. What?
It sounded like you said to pee yourself.
Well, it depends. If you drink a lot, you might pee yourself.
It really did sound like you said be yourself.
All right.
Don't forget to be yourself.
Always remember to be yourself and stay nerdy.
This
You
episode is
guys
going to
are-
be a fun one to edit, I think.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Fantastic. You guys are amazing. See you guys next week. Deuces.
Bye.
Bye.